approval is filed, meaning again, if they come in with a map or list.
See, I understood if you're in conditional final, it used to be 360 days and now it's open-ended. Is that not right?
It's open-ended at the discretion of the board.
At the discretion of the board.
This board.
Or this board?
What board?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's open.
The statute says the board, and it's in a bigger statute that says planning board, so.
Okay. So I think if they get that, what we're trying to do here, I think tonight is make sure they get to that state of the planning process.
The conditional final.
Conditional final is completed.
Right.
And then they're in the next stage, which, I mean, I thought that we were discussing on Monday.
And we can do that. You can do that, and we'll revisit it again.
Well, I would think so.
Well, or maybe we won't.
Or maybe we won't.
The planning board has to take care of it, right?
I don't think so. If you get into these extension periods and your sunset provision, it's not the planning board. It's your local law.
Right. Okay.
It's your code. So simply put, you could extend or make the extension for 9 months,
right,
by which date they would have to obtain conditional final. If they did, it would simply go on,
right,
with the year or whatever time period.
But you could actually just extend your sunset date to 360.
That's something different, right?
360 days from
right. We're talking about two different extensions.
Right.
Maybe that's the best way to approach it. We're talking about two different extensions.
Right.
One is theirs to get conditional final. One is our sunset provision.
But their letter, their request of us was to extend to complete their conditional preliminary. Or to achieve conditional final, the beginning of it. That was
9-month extension okay, I'll have to refer to it, because all three of them you have on tonight asked for different things. And we had to divine what effectively we thought they meant to be consistent if we were to give them all 9 months to attain the conditional final levels. You'll see later on when I recite the request.
All right, Lou, what are your thoughts?
I want to stay along with what we said Monday night. I also want to have some respect for Phil because he was very involved with it.
And he was here.
And now he's not here, so I'd like to just go along with what we said on Monday night.
Me too. Yeah. George?
Right.
Well, we got three.
I was just trying to look at this letter of September 15th from A&L from Steve as to what granted the plans for phase 2. Well, anyway, I think where I'm looking at this is there's new information that for me is on the table as far as this conditional final, which I thought we were doing, and then obtaining without conditions. So at this particular juncture in time, I just wanted to act on what we were talking about Monday night, which was the 9-month extension for the conditional final approval with respect to phase 2.
Right.
Correct. That's the first.
Right. And then just drop it in there.
And then, I don't know, do we have to act on this phase 1 thing?
No, you wouldn't. But I don't. You wouldn't have to be further extended to 5 months to 2. What's your status on phase 1?
Phase 1, our 300. If we had 300, if we had 360 days, it would expire. We'd have to file in April of 2011.
Correct. So what you're saying at the moment then is you can live with nothing being done to phase 1.
Right.
Just all you want is phase 2.
Well, we gave an extension on that.
Yeah. Well, no, phase 1 is we're happy with it. April, we're going to finish the road up.
Right.
Right. So then what you could do is take out the last 2 results.
That's right.
And it would be consistent with what you discussed and what Mr. Canarino participated in Monday night. That the extension for A&L Acres would then be 9 months to July 28, 2011.
And I would also, I think, like to say, and there would be no further extensions. We said it was drop dead date. I don't know. I mean, we verbalized that and it'd be in the minutes of the meeting, but do we need to put that in the resolution? That there'll be no more extensions?
No, I would recommend you not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and then the other thing, I mean, this may be premature, but what I want to do is I want to be fair and equitable with all of the parties.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're doing this now, and I think from what I've read in the other 2 that we can do that. We can be
we'll pick them up
equal.
Right. But I just want to make sure we're on the same wavelength on this, because we still got the sunset provision problem. Okay, because your sunset provision, which is embedded in your code, recites that the effective date was 7/27/09. 18 months from 7/27/09 puts it at January 27th, 2011. Is when all exemptions would necessarily need to be, unless otherwise extended.
Right.
But we're not operating on that tonight. Just
Right.
Okay.
I hear you.
All right?
Well, obviously, we're going to come back
You're going to have to come back.
and,
Yeah.
request that we...
Okay, just so you're aware, you're going to see the same inconsistency because of the sunset provision.
Well, but see, where I'm going now is I was not aware Monday night that there was this
I don't think
sunset
anybody was.
provision.
I don't think anybody.
So now that there is this sunset provision, I want to be fair and equitable
absolutely.
with everybody. So even though we have said, no more extensions for anything,
Right.
there's new information on the table.
Right, and if you follow, come that time period, you will obviously be further aware of any progress that the applicant
Right.
made, and you'll be able to make a more recent...
January 27, 2011, is that when it runs out?
Right.
Yes, January
Yes.
27th, 2011.
Yeah, that's right around the corner, guys.
No.
I mean,
It's 3 months away.
this is right around the
No,
corner.
well, that's true, yeah, because you adopted in 2009.
Right.
Yeah, that's why, again, we were trying to bounce...
Okay, I understand now.
Well, you understand the logic anyway.
Well, I understand the
It was
logic.
not discussed Monday night.
I mean, if it was 6 months from now, I'd say it's one thing, but it's going to be
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to have to come back.
We'll be back next week.
Unless
Here next week.
the same logic would apply to your reasoning, and you want to give them an extension from the sunset provision to coincide with the same date, you're given the extension on the 9 months.
Well, without digesting it completely, I think that would make sense, right?
So, yeah,
But-
I believe it would make sense.
Yeah, and we're really not extending the extension any longer, right? It's the
Correct.
same-
All you're doing
same
is,
date.
Right.
well, you're picking up the procedural sunset provision to match your extension on the conditional
And
bond.
that date would be then
July 28th.
2011.
For Phase 1, final approval without conditions,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, George.
Phase
I
2.
said, now we're on to Phase 1.
Oh, okay.
Instead of you coming back next week, Phase 1 would be to July 28th, 2011, final approval without conditions.
Of Phase 1.
Phase 1.
Phase 1.
Right.
That's good?
That's good.
Okay. And then what about, and what about this last one? We're talking about for the Phase 2, the 5-month, to July 28, 2011. Keep that as it is as well, and put the whole thing to sleep?
I don't know, what do you mean when you say the last one?
The third one on the page.
Yeah, no, that would be inconsistent. That's the month early, June 27th.
Yeah, well, that would be July.
We said July
Extended to the
28.
July, so as to coincide the
Right.
dates,
And then we're all done with this.
as long as the dates match up.
Yeah, so then now the third thing here is, as of July 28, 2011, we're stating here that Phase 2 will obtain final approval without conditions.
That's the part which is no.
That's the part that...
It's going to be a sticking point, right?
Why
So
don't we just say,
maybe at this point, we should just do the first two.
or can we have final approval? Why do we say without conditions? Why can't it be with conditions?
Again, you could, it's just a question of if the date should match.
The date would match.
Again, you have to go back through again, because you gotta watch these dates now.
Okay.
28.
So let's do this then. Why don't we just drop off the last item on the page and go with the other two?
If you take the last one off, which is, again, trying to bring it into compliance with the sunset provision.
Right.
Yeah, then you would be just extending Phase 2 until July 28, 2011.
Right.
And at this time, the 5-month extension coinciding with the sunset provision is 1 day earlier,
Right.
okay? June 27th.
Or 1 month
1
earlier.
month earlier.
1 month
So
earlier.
that should also coincide with the July 28th date.
The second one.
The second one.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll have that the 27th of June.
The 28th of July.
July
Oh,
28th.
Pardon me, 28th of July. Okay.
And that's phase one.
That is phase one.
Yeah, and then, so with the language, let me just review the language, please, so you understand. So now, therefore, first resolution will be that, Lake was granted a 9-month extension of time to July 28, 2011, from local law 4 to obtain conditional final with respect to phase 2.